Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? So let's see what we got going on today. It says here, U.S. activist and comedian found uh, punctured to death in Colombia after being held for ransom. Somebody didn't pay, and he's an activist. Does he support BLM or something? What kind of act? Like an activist and a comedian, like that's a weird combination of things. Either you're a terrible comedian or you're just so funny that people think that you're actually involved in their cause. The body of the U.S. activist and comedian found with over a dozen mm, eggs, stab wounds, and dumped in a ravine after allegedly being kidnapped and held for ransom in Colombia. Oh, did somebody try to get a prostitute? I'm just saying, it seems like that was happened. To Gezong, I don't know, 50, an Asian American man from Woodbury in Minnesota, was in the country on holiday and had met up with a woman with whom he had connected on social media. You sure it's social media? Was it Instagram? It's like, I'm a comedian. I got the dough. Come through, all you gold digging hoes. When he was abducted by a group of men, according to reports. Yep, yep. Somebody saw that BBL on Instagram, and he lost his mind. He wasn't thinking. Zhang, who was born in Laos. I know what country that is, but I've never actually pronounced the word. And spent 4 years of his childhood in a refugee camp in Thailand. Called a friend in Colombia at around 7 p.m. Sunday, saying the men were demanding 2,000 US dollars. That's 8 million Colombian pesos. $2,000. Man should be alive. In cash. That's the problem. Who carries around $2,000 in cash? Come on. The moment they try to get that out of the bank, like it's going to be reported. Like it's just not smart. Uh, for his release, according to a local newspaper, El Colombiano. He also told his friend that he was being held at gunpoint. What? What? They allowed him to say that? Oh, well, he had to understand the seriousness of the situation in order to get that money ready. Meanwhile, as he was being held captive, police said a woman was raiding his apartment at around 4:40 p.m., but when police arrived at the scene, she managed to escape. That's not good. If police arrived on the scene, there's probably a lookout, and she managed to escape because there's probably a lookout, and they saw the police. Homie, homie's dead. It is unclear if this was the same woman who had met up with who he had met up with earlier. Uh, probably is. Probably is the same woman, unless they have multiple women working. They probably do have multiple women, doing the whole setup. Uh, but before any payment could be made, Zhang's body was found in the water of a ravine in La Cor Cor Corcovada, not west of Medellin, with multiple stab wounds and blunt force trauma, according to El Colombiano. I thought they were holding him at gunpoint. Well, bullets are probably expensive and they're not getting paid, so cheaper option. He also had bruises caused by an apparent fall from more than 60 feet. Police said they're investigating. Okay, so they probably tossed the body. Okay, so that was after the fact. Jean, Jean, To's older brother, shared some details about his brother's brutal death, saying that he suffered blow. Yeah. We already know all that stuff. His brother said the police had caught one of the alleged kidnappers. Uh, we have full confidence in the Colombian police that they'll find the person who did this to him and bring them to justice. You have confidence in the Colombian police. All right. Rather than grieving over the loss of his life, we want to celebrate what he has done and what he could be doing to help the community moving forward. Why would you celebrate stuff that's not happening? You're just like, he could have been doing so much for the community. Yay, party. Tojong family friends told Fox 9 that he was the life of the and soul of the party. He sounded like he partied a little too much. That's probably he'd have stayed alive. He'd partied a little bit less. And they're probably fine because now they get all his money. Uh, and passionate about making positive changes into society. That's probably why he's an activist. The Carleton College political science grad dedicated his life to bringing cultures and speaking for those without a voice. Sounds like he talks about racism because he's Asian. He does comedy. He probably does a lot of comedy about being Asian and race. He would drive from here to Wisconsin to Milwaukee to Madison to help people at his own expense. He did that kind of stuff. It's a weird ass thing to do. He could have just set it to Amazon. That'd be cheaper. Save all that money on gas. His family is now in the process of creating a foundation in his name through which they hope to offer scholarships and assistance to those in need. They're going to need donors for that because I don't think he has enough money. Toger in the blah 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 of my throat. In China, the Hmong people are classified as a subgroup of the Mao people. Meow. Okay. According to the comedian's website, his father served in the CIA, and his family had to flee Laos after the communist takeover in 1975. He was a comedian, entertainer, motivational speaker, and educator. It's a lot of things to be terrible at. He embraced the Hmong culture by educating his audience about his origin, Jin, and helped co-found groups such as the Community Action Against Racism. I called it. That's what they always do. They call themselves activists because he makes money from doing racial type comedy and supporting educating people about race, probably going to colleges because every college is woke now. So he's going to those colleges talking about race. And guess what? They pay him for that. And he's a motivational speaker because he's doing that nonsense, going to colleges, doing the same thing. That's another hustle. He's a hustler. He's hustling these colleges. He's hustling these woke platforms. All those titles, comedian, entertainer, motivational speaker, educator, all that shit is all the same thing. It's all a race hustle. Goddamn knew it. His website stated he was married, cheating on his wife too. He was named Bush. Oh my God. Wow. This is a heartbreaking tragedy. My heart is broken. I uh I regret that this had to happen to someone, but it wasn't me and it wasn't you. So, till next time.